Good morning, or good afternoon, depending on what part of the country you're joining us from. Coach Kevin Sparks here, and let's go ahead and get started. First thing I'd like to do is share my screen with you and point out a couple things. If you're here for the very first time or you're watching this as a recording, want to point out that we have a Facebook group that coincides with our meetup group, and it has the same name. I want to be really rich, and I do not apologize for it. So you can go into your own Facebook account, and where it says search Facebook, type in I want to be really rich and I do not apologize for it, and you can find us there. The other way you can find us is to go directly to facebook.com/groups/, I want to be really rich. And why would you want to join us? Well, if we have any special announcements, we usually like to pin those to the top. However, what you can see here is that as long as I remember to hit the record button, which I typically do, I record these Zoom meetings, and then they are available for you to either review, meaning you're here today, you like what you saw and you want to go through it again, or they're here for you in case you missed a day and you want to get caught up with what we're doing. So that would be another reason why you would want to come join us. All right. Next thing I want to share with you is what we're in the process of going through today. We are in a book. Collectively, we've been going through it for a little while. It's a good sized book. It was written by Maxwell Maltz, called Psycho-Cybernetics. Maxwell Maltz has since passed, so it is a little bit older book. However, what he is doing is he is talking about how we have been programmed and how we are actually goal striving human beings. If we're not actually setting something for ourselves to strive for and to achieve, we tend not to actually be very happy people. That's why people sometimes, when they retire and have nothing to do afterwards, things kind of deteriorate for them. So that's one thing, is we are goal striving human beings. But what he really wants to share with us is how our image of ourself has been created. And if we don't like the results we're getting from our life, how we can go about changing those results through changing our programming at a subconscious level. So anyhow, we're going to hop in here where we left off. Before I do that though, I'd like to show you where you can get a copy of this for yourself. So I'm going to go back. Let's remember here, we're on page 130, and we're at the point where it says how to learn the happiness habit. So page 130, I'm going to go backwards for a second to help you guys out. That way, if you're new with us and you don't have a copy of this, I want to show you where we got it. I happen to have it on Kindle. I also happen to have it on Audible. However, when we're going through material, if it's something that is out there that you can find for free, I like to see if I can do that and then go grab a free version of it. That way we can all be on the same page. So that's what I went ahead is I just typed in Psycho-Cybernetics PDF and into Google and went through a few of them, but the one that popped up here at the top is the one that we're using, the one that I like, and the one that is the original version. So Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz-WordPress.com. And the website is Dean Wallace Files. Don't really know what that means. Doesn't matter. Here's what I know. When you click on it, what happens immediately, or as quick as the internet works, when I say immediately, it actually brings you to the book. Okay. So I'm going to hop into the book here, bring us back to where we left off, hopefully. Let's see, 130. Boom. Yeah, and then I'm going to blow it up bigger so it's a little bit easier for you guys to read. All right. How to learn the happiness habit. Move a couple things around on my screen here so I can see a little better. So what I'm going to do at this point is start reading where we left off. I'll add commentary where I think it's appropriate. And then as we get moving along through this, we will come out of screen share and you'll have the opportunity, we'll all have the opportunity to interact with each other, to share whatever we'd like to share or ask whatever questions we'd like to ask. All right, here we go. How to learn the happiness habit. Our self-image and our habits tend to go together. Change one, and you will automatically change the other. The word habit originally meant a garment or clothing. Wonder how many of you actually knew that, what it originally meant. So the word habit meant a garment or clothing. We still speak of ridding habits and habiliments. This gives us an insight into the true nature of habit. Our habits are literally garments worn by our personalities. Interesting. Our habits are literally garments worn by our personalities. They are not accidental or happenstance. We have them because they fit us. They are consistent with our self image and our entire personality pattern. When we consciously and deliberately develop new and better habits, our self image tends to outgrow the old habits and grow into the new pattern. Let me repeat that. When we consciously and deliberately develop new and better habits, our self image tends to outgrow the old habits and grow into the new pattern. I can see many patients cringe. And by the way, Maxwell Maltz, his profession was plastic surgeon. I can see many patients cringe when I mention changing habitual action patterns or acting out new behavior patterns until they become automatic. They confuse habit with addiction. And addiction is something you feel compelled to, and which causes severe withdrawal symptoms. Treatment of addiction is beyond the scope of this book. Habits, on the other hand, are merely reactions and responses which we have learned to perform automatically without having to think or decide. They are performed by our creative mechanism. Fully 95% of our behavior, feeling, and response is habitual. The pianist does not decide which keys to strike. The dancer does not decide which foot to move where. The reaction is automatic and unthinking. In much the same way, our attitudes, emotions, and beliefs tend to become habitual. In the past, we learned that certain attitudes, ways of feeling, and thinking were appropriate to certain situations. Now, we tend to think, feel, and act the same way whenever we encounter what we interpret as the same sort of situation. What we need to understand is that these habits, unlike addictions, can be modified, changed, or reversed simply by taking the trouble to make a conscious decision and then by practicing or acting out the new response or behavior. The pianist can consciously decide to strike a different key if he chooses. The dancer can consciously decide to learn a new step, and there is no agony about it. It does require constant watchfulness and practice until the behavior pattern is thoroughly learned. Practice exercise. Habitually, you put on either your right shoe first or your left shoe. Habitually, you tie your shoes by either passing the right hand lace around behind the left hand lace or vice versa. Tomorrow morning, determine which shoe you will put on first and how you tie your shoes. Now, consciously decide that for the next 21 days, you're going to form a new habit by putting on the other shoe first, tying your laces in a different way. Now, each morning, as you decide to put on your shoes in a certain manner, let this simple act serve as a reminder to change other habits or other habitual ways of thinking, acting, and feeling throughout that one day. Say to yourself as you tie your shoes, I'm beginning the day in a new and better way. Then consciously decide that throughout the day, I will be as cheerful as possible. I will try to feel and act a little more friendly toward other people. I'm going to be a little less critical and a little more tolerant of other people, their faults, failings, and mistakes. I will place the best possible interpretation upon their actions. Insofar as possible, I'm going to act as if success were inevitable, and I already am the sort of personality I want to be. I will practice acting like and feeling like this new personality. I will not let my own opinion color facts in a pessimistic or negative way. I will practice smiling at least 3 times during the day. Regardless of what happens, I will react as calmly and as intelligently as possible. I will ignore completely and close my mind to all those pessimistic and negative facts, which I can do nothing to change. Simple? Yes. But each of the above habitual ways of acting, feeling, thinking does have beneficial and constructive influence on your self image. Act them out for 21 days. Experience them and see if worry, guilt, hostility have not been diminished and if confidence has not been increased. So, points to remember. Okay, chapter 8, ingredients of the success type personality and how to acquire them. Just as a doctor learns to diagnose disease from certain symptoms, failure and success can also be diagnosed. The reason is that a man does not simply find success or come to failure. He carries their seeds around in his personality and character. I found one of the most effective means of helping people achieve an adequate or successful personality is to first of all give them a graphic picture of what successful personality looks like. Remember, the creative guidance mechanism within you is also a goal striving mechanism. And the first requisite for using it is to have a clear cut goal or target to shoot for. A great many people want to impress or to improve themselves and long for a better personality who have no clear cut idea of the direction in which improvement lies, nor what constitutes a good personality. A good personality is one which enables you to deal effectively and appropriately with environment and reality, and to gain satisfaction from reaching goals which are important to you. Time and again, I've seen confused and unhappy people straighten themselves out when they were given a goal to shoot for and a straight course to follow. There was the advertising man in his early 40s, for example, who felt strangely insecure and dissatisfied with himself after receiving an important promotion. New roles require new self images. It doesn't make sense, he said. I've worked for this and dreamed about it. It's just what I've always wanted. I know I can do the work. And yet, for some reason, my self confidence is shaken. I suddenly wake up as if from a dream and ask myself, what in the world is a small potatoes like me doing in a job like this? He had become super sensitive to his appearance and thought perhaps that his weak chin might be the cause of his discomfort. I don't look like a business executive, he said. He felt plastic surgery might be the answer to his problem. There was the housewife whose children were running her crazy and whose husband irritated her so much that she teed off on him at least twice a week for no cause. What is the matter with me? She asked. My children are really nice kids I should be proud of. My husband is a really nice guy, and I'm always ashamed of myself afterwards. She felt that a facelift might give her more confidence and cause her family to appreciate her more. The trouble with these people, and many more like them, is not their physical appearance, but their self image. They find themselves in a new role and are not sure what kind of person they're supposed to be in order to live up to that role. Or they have never developed a self image of themselves in any role. The picture of success. In this chapter, I'm going to give you the same prescription that I would give you should you come to my office. I have found that an easy to remember picture of the successful personality is contained in the letters of the word success itself. The success type personality is composed of S, a sense of direction, U, understanding. C, courage. C, charity. E, esteem. S, self-confidence. S, self-acceptance. The advertising executive straightened himself out and regained his confidence within a short time once he saw clearly that for several years he had been motivated by strong personal goals which he wanted to attain, including securing his present position. These goals, which were important to him, kept him on the track. However, once he got the promotion, he ceased to think in terms of what he wanted, but in terms of what others expected of him, or whether he was living up to other people's goals and standards. He was like the skipper of a ship who had relinquished his hold upon the wheel and hoped that he would drift in the right direction. He was like a mountain climber who, as long as he looked upward to the peak he wished to scale, felt and acted courageously and boldly. But when he got to the top, he felt there was nowhere else to go and began to look down and became afraid. He was now on the defensive, defending his present position, rather than acting like a goal striver and going on in the offensive to attain his goal. He regained control when he set himself new goals and began to think in terms of, what do I want out of this job? What do I want to achieve? Let's see. Where do I want to go? Functionally, a man is somewhat like a bicycle, I told him. A bicycle maintains its poise and equilibrium only so long as it is going forward towards something. You have a good bicycle. Your trouble is you're trying to maintain your balance sitting still with no place to go. It's no wonder you feel shaky. Let's repeat that. A bicycle maintains its poise and equilibrium only so long as it is going towards something. You have a good bicycle. Your trouble is you're trying to maintain your balance sitting still with no place to go. It's no wonder you feel shaky. We are engineered as goal-seeking mechanisms. We are built that way. When we have no personal goal, which we are interested in, and which means something to us, we are apt to go around in circles, feel lost, and find life itself aimless and purposeless. We are built to conquer environment, solve problems, achieve goals, and we find no real satisfaction or happiness in life without obstacles to conquer and goals to achieve. People who say that life is not worthwhile are really saying that they themselves have no personal goals which are worthwhile. Prescription. Get yourself a goal worth working for. Better still, get yourself a project. Decide what you want out of a situation. Always have something ahead of you to look forward to work for and hope for. Look forward, not backward. Develop what one of the automobile manufacturers calls the forward look. Develop a nostalgia for the future instead of for the past. The forward look and a nostalgia for the future can keep you youthful. Even your body doesn't function well when you stop being a goal striver and have nothing to look forward to. This is the reason that very often, when a man retires, he dies shortly thereafter. When you're not goal striving, not looking forward, you're not really living. In addition to your purely personal goals, have at least one impersonal goal or cause which you can identify yourself with. Get interested in some project to help your fellow man, not out of a sense of duty, but because you want to. Understanding depends upon good communication. Communication is vital to any guidance system or computer. You cannot react appropriately if the information you act upon is faulty or misunderstood. Many doctors believe that confusion is the basic element of neurosis. To deal effectively with a problem, you must have some understanding of its true nature. Most of our failures in human relations are due to misunderstandings. We expect other people to react and respond and come to the same conclusions as we do from a given set of facts or circumstances. We should remember what we said in the earlier chapter. No one reacts to things as they are, but to his own mental images. Most of the time, the other person's reaction or position is not taken in order to make us suffer, nor to be hard-headed, nor malicious, but because he understands and interprets the situation differently from us. He is merely responding appropriately to what, to him, seems to be the truth about the situation. To give the other person credit for being sincere, if mistaken rather than willful and malicious, can do much to smooth out human relations and bring about better understanding between people. Ask yourself, how does this appear to him? How does he interpret the situation? How does he feel about it? Try to understand why he might act the way he does. Fact versus opinion. Many times we create confusion when we add our own opinion to facts and come up with the wrong conclusion. Fact, a husband cracks his knuckles. Opinion, the wife concludes, he does that because he thinks it will annoy me. Fact, the husband sucks his teeth after eating. Opinion, the wife concludes, if he had any regard for me, he would improve his manners. Fact, two friends are whispering when you walk up. Suddenly they stop talking and look somewhat embarrassed. Opinion, they must have been gossiping about me. The housewife mentioned earlier was able to understand that her husband's annoying mannerisms were not deliberate and willful acts on his part for the purpose of annoying her. When she stopped reacting just as if she had been personally insulted, she was able to pause, analyze the situation, and select an appropriate response. Be willing to see the truth. Oftentimes, we color incoming sensory data by our own fears, anxieties, and desires. Let me repeat that. Oftentimes, we color, so we come up with our own story about incoming sensory data by our own fears, anxieties, and desires. But to deal effectively with environment, we must be willing to acknowledge the truth about it. Only when we understand what it is can we respond appropriately. We must be able to see the truth and to accept the truth, good or bad. Bertrand Russell said one reason Hitler lost World War II was that he did not fully understand the situation. Bearers of bad news were punished, so no one dared tell him the truth. Not knowing the truth, he could not act appropriately. Many of us are individually guilty of the same error. We do not like to admit to ourselves our errors, mistakes, shortcomings, or even admit that we've been in the wrong. We do not like to acknowledge that a situation is other than we would like it to be. So we kid ourselves. And because we will not see the truth, we cannot act appropriately. Someone has said that it is a good exercise to daily admit one painful fact about ourselves to ourselves. The success type personality not only does not cheat and lie to other people, he learns to be honest with himself. What we call sincerity is itself based upon self understanding and self honesty. For no man can be sincere who lies to himself by rationalizing or telling himself rational lies. Prescription. Look for and seek out true information concerning yourself, your problems, other people, or the situation, whether it is good news or bad news. Adopt the motto, if it doesn't matter who's right, but what's right. An automatic guidance system corrects its course from negative feedback data. It acknowledges errors in order to correct them and stay on course. So must you. Admit your mistakes and errors, but don't cry over them. Correct them and go forward. In dealing with other people, try to see the situation from their point of view as well as your own. Courage. Have a goal, and understanding the situation are not enough. You must have the courage to act. For only by actions can goals, desires, and beliefs be translated into realities. Admiral William F. Halsey's personal motto was a quotation from Nelson: "No captain can do very wrong if he places his ship alongside that of an enemy." The best defense is a strong offense, is a military principle, said Halsey, but its application is wider than war. All problems, personal, national, or combat, become smaller if you don't dodge them, but confront them. Touch a thistle timidly, and it pricks you. Grasp it boldly, and its spines crumble. Someone has said that faith is not believing something in spite of the evidence. It is the courage to do something regardless of the consequences. Why not bet on yourself? Nothing in the world is ever absolutely certain or guaranteed. Once the difference between a successful man and a failure is not one's better abilities or ideas, but the courage that one has to bet on his ideas, to take a calculated risk and act. We often think of courage in terms of heroic deeds on the battlefield, in a shipwreck or similar crisis, but everyday living requires courage too, if it's to be effective. Standing still, failure to act, causes people who are faced with a problem to become nervous, feel stymied, trapped, and can bring on a host of physical symptoms. I tell such people, study the situation thoroughly. Go over in your imagination the various courses of action possible to you and the consequences which can and may follow from each course. Pick out the course which gives you the most promise and go ahead. Wait until we are absolutely certain and sure before we act, we will never do anything. Anytime you act, you can be wrong. Any decision you make can turn out to be the wrong one. But we must not let this deter us from going after the goal we want. You must daily have the courage to risk making mistakes, risk failure, risk being humiliated. A step in the wrong direction is better than staying on the spot all your life. Once you're moving forward, you can correct your course as you go. Your automatic guidance system cannot guide you when you're stalled, standing still. Okay, faith and courage are natural instincts. I think that is a good place to pick up tomorrow. So, hello. We have some folks with us. Joined us since we got started. Let's see. So let me share how this works. I think we might have someone new with us today. This is now your opportunity to share whatever you'd like to share or ask whatever questions you would like to ask. So what would be appropriate to share? First of all, anything in relationship to your successes in manifesting more money and wealth in your life, that would be awesome to share. And or anything else that you've purposely made the decision you wanted and were able to manifest in your life that's been good for you. The other things to share would be anything in relationship, anything you learned today, any ahas you might have had, or anything that you've learned up to now from what we've been going through. Questions, what would be appropriate? Again, anything in relationship to what we've been studying in the past or what we've been studying today, and or any questions in relationship to manifesting more money and wealth in your life. So this is the time where everybody has the opportunity to share what they'd like to share, ask whatever questions they'd like to ask. All you need to do is come off mute and start sharing, and we'll take you in the order that you do that. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
This is Shada.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
It's been a while. I didn't meet with you guys since last week, and I think I did a well job for manifesting new customers. I already have my own business, which is teaching driving car. And since January, no one booked with me. And since I start attending this program, I think because I do focus on manifesting and money and good relationships and stuff like that, um, uh, three sisters book with me a package of 12 hours for teaching driving.
Awesome.
And yeah, and I'm so happy for that.
Very cool. So you feel like participating with us and what you've been learning and growing and changing your vibration led to your business having some more success.
Yes, I think so.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Do you have any other things you want to share? Any questions?
Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate it. Okie doke. Anybody else? Anything that you would like to share or any questions you'd like to ask? No need to be shy. That's what I'm here for, to be helpful. And if you don't ask anything, then I'm going to assume you all have everything you want in your life right now. And then you don't really need me.
Okay, I'll go.
Thank you, Stephanie.
So my vibration was low this morning, and this reading today was really helpful to me personally, and internalizing it and recognizing what I needed to do for myself mentally. And it really has, in the last half hour, totally turned my attitude around. And
Awesome.
not only that, I do question, because my question, I was feeling a lot of frustration this morning because of my unemployment situation.
Yeah.
And I know that you and I talked about the futility in throwing a resume around everywhere and just kind of, free resumes for all, here you go. And I know that I've got that discussion on Thursday that's going to take place, but internally, I am beating myself up, feeling like I'm not doing enough.
Mm-hmm. So what have you done in the last 3 days intentionally to have fun?
Nothing.
Yeah, you know what you need to go do. And matter of fact, you better go do it. You're in a situation right now where what is it that what could you go do today or tomorrow? I prefer today, unless you got something specific you already are going to be doing. What is something that you really enjoy doing that you could go do?
I could possibly go for a hike. I've been wanting to go to Torrey Pines. I've
Cool.
read a lot about it. I just haven't done it. So that's one thing I could do. I'll have to think about it for a second, but
Okay.
I hear what you're saying.
Well, don't overthink it. So that first came to your mind. So grab a notebook that's blank and a pen, take it with you, go hike Torrey Pines, and then go write out what you're grateful for. Write out 100 things you're grateful for.
Okay.
While you're out there, go do your hike, sit, write out what you're grateful for, and then write out your willingness to trust God in this process, and that you're so grateful that financially everything is taken care of, that God's working behind the scenes, and that you are totally ready to do anything that God asks you to do to receive your next employment. And that for now, though, you just want to spend your day in gratitude and peace and have a good time. That is actually the best work you could do today.
Okay.
And then obviously either tonight or tomorrow, because you're in the group coaching, we'll meet again anyway. But that would be my assignment for today specific, because I know that you and I can talk later tonight or tomorrow. So.
Okay. Thanks, Kevin.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Any additional questions or comments?
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Everett.
Yeah, I'm trying to work on one thing. This, I guess, it's a weakness that I have. I'm trying to do I got to the part, set up the business, everything. It's sitting with people and doing like listings, and the negotiation part is slowing me up. So I've been trying to think of a way to kind of get over the hump of that problem. I done did a little bit of the cold calling, which was always my fear. But like I said, I still think I got that shot in it. So I'm trying something creative I try visualizing. I might need to do it for longer, but I just ain't got it yet. Maybe just that slow process. I don't know. I'll see if you had any suggestions for me.
Uh-huh. You would. What food do you hate the most?
Say that one more time.
What food do you hate to eat the most?
What food?
Yeah, what food disgusts you?
I would say beans.
Beans. Okay. Here's the deal. You got to eat beans every day. If you want to be a millionaire, you have to eat beans every day of your life for the rest of your life. Are you willing to do it? And just be honest.
Yeah, I do.
No, you wouldn't.
Can you what?
Oh,
No, you wouldn't.
I would eat it.
No, you wouldn't. You think you would. Eventually, if you got if you became a millionaire, but also if you quit eating beans, you would lose it, being the millionaire. There will come a point in time where you won't care about being a millionaire because you'll never get over the beans. You'll do it for a while. What's your favorite food?
I don't know
What's
if I
one of
got
your
a favorite. I
What's
like a
stuff-
little
what do
everything.
you like?
Fried chicken.
Fried chicken. All right.
I love some fried chicken.
All right, Everett. Well, you have to eat fried chicken at least once a week, but you could eat it more than that. And as long as you eat fried chicken once a week for the rest of your life, not only will you become a millionaire, but you will maintain millionaire status. You up for eating fried chicken at least once a week?
I sure am.
And guess what? You would. You would actually do it. Cold calling right now, you avoid it, don't you?
Yeah, I still ain't that comfortable with it. That's why I hired my VA. I'm not
Exactly.
extremely comfortable.
And this is fine. This is good. You are creating a business around you based upon having people fill in for doing the things you don't care to do, which is fine,
Absolutely.
right? However, what you're sort of doing, and that's okay, you got to figure out a little bit different scenario here. Because also, so now you've got the VA setting up appointments, right? But even though the appointment's set up, you're still scared to talk to the people, right?
Yeah, I'm hesitant, and I'm not just comfortable 100% I should be.
Right, because you got a story already going on in your mind that you think that this is the responses and the reactions and what people are going through, and the story you're telling yourself creates, fear and discomfort and whatnot. You have to actually tell the story in this scenario that, hey, this person wants to talk to you bad enough that they set an appointment with your VA to talk to you. So they really want a solution. See, if they hadn't already gone through that step that they want to talk with you, then that would be different. But are you cold calling, or are you having your VA hit them first and then they're saying, yeah, I'll talk to Everett?
Yes, exactly like that. And I get the my call ID is set up so I get like maybe 30 calls when she leave a voicemail or a missed call, then I talk to them. I'm doing good on that part, which I didn't think I was gonna be, but it's like growing. It has helped me actually in my job
Yeah.
because I'm able to not worry about what people may think or people say no, it has made me grown, but it's like, I guess you think like you got so much more to go. But yeah, it's that part still is kind of getting me a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like I think I'm gonna make a mistake. You know, I keep so much. I'm like, maybe somebody else went there will do it
And
better.
can I tell you
but
something, Everett? I promise you're going to make mistakes. I promise you.
Yeah.
And so there's a story in you about mistakes because somebody in the past has emotionally beaten you up because of mistakes,
Yeah.
right?
I'm
They're
not sure where.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
it,
where
it,
it's
it doesn't.
actually coming
You don't
from.
actually. Yeah, this isn't. You don't actually have to dig it out and pull it out. You just have to run a new program. The mistakes
Yeah.
are fine, and every time I make a mistake, I learn. This whole book that we're reading right now, it's talking about, shooting off. It's talking about that servo mechanism that basically says, there's a target out there. I know what the target is. I'm going to point my missile at the target and shoot. But the target moves around and the missile has to adjust itself to hit the target. So part of what's going to happen as you're going to get feedback as you do this, I was talking, well, actually, I wasn't talking at that point. I was listening to Bob Proctor and he was talking about sales. And Bob Proctor has been in the personal development field for obviously a long time. This is his 60th year. And in that world for him, in order for him to actually help most people, the most people he can, those people typically have to buy something. They're different dollar amounts. I mean, personal one-on-one coaching with him is going to be $250,000 minimum, but usually closer to $1 million. So he doesn't have a lot of one-on-one clients that way, but he has some, right? But he has a zillion other ways to impact clients. But what he recognizes is that everybody needs to understand what it is that he's teaching and sharing, not that it even came from him. He admits that. He's kind of like, a school teacher. Very few school teachers made up. You can't make up mathematics. Mathematics just is. What you can do is make up unique ways to teach people mathematics. But mathematics in and of itself never changes. So think of like these laws. Bob is actually teaching and coaching around things that never change. The only thing that changes for Bob is the person he's coaching, because everybody's unique. Now, granted, over 60 years, everybody he coaches and works with has similar things. But let's go back to sales. Not everybody buys from Bob. But Bob wants everybody to buy from him, because he cares so much about what he's sharing and he knows that people need it. But he knows that a lot of people are going to blow him off. But the one thing he wants to get better at is sales. And he's been phenomenal at it for years, but he still wants to get better at it. And he still occasionally, he feels like he's made some mistakes when he's talking to someone. Like when it's all done and he thinks about it, it's like, oh, maybe I should have said something a little different. But he uses that recognition for future conversation instead of beating himself up about the one he just had that maybe didn't go the way he wanted it to. Your VA, I imagine, is doing a pretty good job now, and you're now getting leads that are coming in and you have people to talk with. So what you ought to do in your mind is go, hey, you know what? This is cool. I'm in the learning stage still. And so it's okay. Every conversation I have, I learn something from. I'm not going to beat myself up when I have a bad one. I'm just going to understand that, you know what can I learn from that one? Don't repeat it, and then go and do it again. But don't be afraid of those conversations, because if you don't have the conversations with any of these people, then you're not going to be able to help any of these people either. You're not going to be able to acquire their property and help them get into a better situation. So you've got to see yourself differently too. What you have to offer is way more valuable than the person on the other end understands. You don't have to convince them. What you can do is utilize the law of attraction to say, hey, God, look, I know what we're offering is good for the person, not just good for me. And obviously it's their decision if they choose to sell me their house, their property, or whatever. But I'm willing to follow your direction. Do me a favor and help connect me to more people that would actually don't just want my help, but that will be cooperative in letting me help them, so that we can have a win-win situation, so that I can run a profitable business and have great success. And so that my clients, the people that I serve, can feel also that they've had increase in their life too, as a result of my relationship with them. If you see yourself as a servant instead of a salesperson, you'll do better.
Good advice. I definitely can see that. I generally always like helping, so I will incorporate that more in my mind. Yeah, I think I did think of it the wrong way. Sometimes you think of, I think it more as a personal challenge. Like, okay, you're gonna get this. You failed at this. I done failed at real estate. And I was an agent before, so now everything is changed. Like I said, I had this coaching help, so I think I need to see it a different way. And like you say, reprogram. And that's what I'm gonna work on, reprogram my mind. Like you said, some in my life before then kept made me where I kind of cringe up to things and people and be too hard on myself. And that's also one thing I'm going to identify. But yeah, definitely. I'm definitely going to work on that. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I can tell everything's going to ultimately work out fine for you. Don't let yourself be discouraged or get down. Make sure you do some things to have a good time. And which phone calls was it you said? You said, or is it the ones where they leave a message and you call them back that are easier for you?
The VA, she calls out, makes the calls and say, you're interested. Now, sometimes they won't pick up, so it'll go to voicemail. So I put my number as a voicemail. So when they see that number, they don't call back, hey, did anybody call me? And I say, hey, this is Real Estate Consultants. Can I help you? Did you receive a missed call? And then I go in and say, hey, we are giving offers for property. If they have to hurry and sell it quick, that's going to be cash buyer. If they got time, you can put on real estate marketing and get your maximum value.
Sure.
So I take them off of that when they call me, and they call me back. And
those are comfortable
for you? I can do that, huh?
And those are more comfortable for you.
More comfortable because it's kind of like I'm piggybacking on her, and it's kind of bad.
Yeah.
I can say, oh, she called. Did somebody call? And it's like if me calling, because I don't like asking people for nothing. I've always been like that.
Okay.
Kind of like being independent.
Let me give you just a thought that came to me to be a little bit, I don't know, sneaky, but it helps you out. Okay. Have your assistant call everybody, whatever that list is. And then go back and call the list a day or two later. And then here's what you do when somebody answers the phone or you leave a voicemail. Say, hi, this is Everett with so-and-so. And one of the assistants that works for me, I'm just following through to make sure that they're doing a phenomenal job at what they're doing and providing excellent service. Did you get an opportunity to talk to so-and-so? So you're following up on your employee. You're not following up on the house thing, but that's what the conversation's going to turn into.
Right. I'm going to bite my nails. I'm about to do it.
Did that make sense?
Makes sense.
Did that feel good or does that feel uncomfortable?
I would say uncomfortable, but it's
okay. So don't do it. Okay. I was trying to create something that made every phone call feel like the ones that you're comfortable with. Those are comfortable because they called back, or they're comfortable because you're calling out?
Because somehow I feel like I'm not responsible for the call, because she called and I'm just kind of answering, saying, oh, my VA calls you. Are you interested in this and this? See, me, I feel like even though I'm offering a service, I feel like if I'm calling, like my life been like, I always feel like I'm bugging somebody, So it's like if I make a call,
what I'm getting at is, are they all calling you, or are you calling back after your assistant left it? Are these inbound calls or outbound calls that you're doing?
Inbounds. Even when I'm sitting here, my phone will run 2-3 times. So they're calling me saying, "Hey, who called me?" And I said, "Oh, this is real estate consultants. We're
Okay,
calling
okay, okay.
homeowner."
All right. So do as much of that as you can then. Create more unless you got plenty to work with.
So far, it's plenty. She's hit
Okay.
about 600,
Well,
700 calls a day.
then you'll be fine, because what you did is you found a workaround for your fear and you created something more comfortable. So now you're eating fried chicken instead of beef.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Because
it's pretty comfortable.
yeah,
I'm
because I
trying to get
understand this about
acquisition.
people. If you have to gag yourself to death to do something, no matter what you think the reward is going to be, eventually, especially if you don't see headway quickly, you'll quit eating it. So don't eat stuff that gags you. In your scenario, I'm not telling everybody out there, that doesn't mean every time somebody has a fear that they don't do something, okay? You know, there's a terror barrier thing. There's this thing you have to step through when you're changing your life. But I'm talking about you're pounding away every day on these phones and the cold calling, you're avoiding it or you're hating it. That's different. That's different than God says, go do something and you take this step and it's uncomfortable because you've never done it before. That's totally inspired. Take that step, go through it. You'll be fine. You'll love the end result. What you need to do though for your business is, if you know you hate something, someone else has to do it, or you have to rearrange your business so that that's not part of it. Or your business won't work. Because we will not go do what we can't stand day after day after day after day, trying to convince ourselves that money will make us like it that much better. I haven't watched people successfully do that. Now, overcoming fear is a little bit different, but if it's that distasteful, then you're better off doing what you said. Have your assistant call, all these people are calling back, and you talk to them and you're comfortable. Great, then do that. And then do more of that. Do however much you need to accomplish your goal. Does anybody else out there, I know Everett's the one I'm talking to right now, but can anybody else come off? Does this resonate for anybody else? What I'm saying, does it make sense?
I think it totally makes sense, Kevin. I was sitting here thinking, wow, that's really good advice. And also the terror barrier part is also important. I thought both avenues or both aspects of what you were trying to get across was really good.
Yeah, thumbs up from Arlo. Okay, thank you, Stephanie.
Oh yeah, it makes sense it makes sense to me also, as far as that goes. It seems like he really kind of winces at making the initial call. So like if it's a follow-up call, then he knows that the person has some interest. So I think he's comfortable with that. Am I hearing that correctly?
Yeah, I will say that. I have a thing, I don't like bothering people, and that's why the calls go. So when they call me back, I feel like it's a different thing. Okay, you call me now. Can I help you? Well, do you need any services? I got you if you need anything. So it's that bothering. That's something that I just have in me that I got to get out of that. Think I'm bothering somebody, because I prefer to help people than think that way.
That's all right. You're paying your VA to bother them first, and that doesn't bother you.
No.
Yeah.
So you could definitely get over the bothering him, but also your VA is going to take more rejection than that person. Just make sure you have a VA that is like, they're cool with that suits their personality, that they can just dial, leave messages, not take it personally. And then that's the perfect person for you.
Yeah, I did ask her, was she okay? She said she's fine. When I say she is the best, I said I'm just trying to put her in the right position to succeed, because I think she's that good. So it's
awesome.
For being over countries, she's magnificent.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. Any other questions or comments for today before we move on? We good to go? All right.
Actually, I do have a couple of other comments. I know, I know with like the real estate buy your house today, they do phone calls, but there's also I'll see signs up here or there, and I get mailers and things like that too. So I, the sign definitely is not intrusive. The mailer is maybe minimally intrusive as compared to a phone call or something, but uh, those are a couple things that would be, you know, less in my opinion, be a little less intrusive.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead, Everett.
yeah, he's absolutely right. If I get a call in to me, I have no problem. And that once I got the VA part down and that structure, I was actually gonna put the signs out. And like I say, the signs are, like you say, not intrusive. You totally understood that right. I don't have no problem if you call me. I just don't like calling calling out. But yeah, definitely. That's definitely gonna be part two. I already thought about that. I'm trying to master part one, then that's next.
Cool. Is your VA calling off of a notice of default list or what?
He's calling off of Mojo. They got like a property search thing. She's calling just random people off of property search.
So you don't even know if they're in foreclosure or anything like. She's just totally random.
Just totally. It goes from the neighborhood search. She just called totally random, and she'll hit about 700. I probably haven't even got her the best list yet. She's probably hitting tough lists, but she's surviving real good.
Well,
She's hitting some tough lists.
Yeah, well, tough
Totally
list
random.
is total stranger. Do you want to sell your house? And you don't even know if they have a reason to want to sell.
Together and grab about 35 leads in that, and so it's not bad. Even going random like that.
That's a numbers game, for sure. But you definitely, from a title company, can get better lists than that, probably.
Yeah, I never thought a title company have anything with a list. That's interesting.
Title companies, if you are, have you done any? I know that this is a newer business for you. Have you done any deals yet?
No deals.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right. You can still meet with a title company and let them know, what you're putting together. You might get some good advice. Some people might be, it depends on who you're talking to. Some will encourage you, and then some might not. But essentially, if you've got a title company that enjoys working with investors, are you planning on doing buy and hold or fix and flip?
Possibly.
For now.
I'm probably doing just like I say,
putting on the. Are you trying to wholesale, fix and flip, or buy and hold right now?
Wholesale and put on the real estate market. If they ain't got no rush, they can go on the real estate market. If they need a quick fix, they going out of town or leaving, moving. I'll make it quick. If not, they can put it on the real estate market.
Yeah. Okay. But essentially, you're a wholesaler for now.
Yes.
Okay, makes sense. That's where a lot of people feel that they want to start their real estate career as an investor. That's fine. So what you want to do is find out, what title, because if you had a deal today and it popped up, what would you do with it? I don't. What state are you in, Everett?
I'm in Michigan, Detroit, Michigan area.
Okay, I don't know the rules there. Okay, so are you a mortgage state, or are you do they close with attorneys, or do you close at title and escrow?
Not sure. I think I'm a lien theory.
Okay.
Lien.
Yeah, which would be like Arizona, California, what I'm used to.
Yeah, they put a lien in.
Okay, yeah. So they don't even actually really have a true mortgage. That's like Kleenex, tissue, whatever, right? All right. Well, anyhow, meeting with a title company, talk to the business development manager at a title company and tell them you're getting your business started. Ask if they enjoy working with investors and if they have experience with it. and see if they'll have a sit down with you. And a lot of times they have tools that you can use. And as long as you're willing to become their client now or in the future, it works out.
Okay. I can take that and I got to real quick. I got the title company from the investors I work with,
Cool.
and I kind of feel like the investors. Like I work with some investors that we be online, and they have a investors group like ARIA.
Yep.
They supposedly had covered everything. If I need something, they go out to the appointments. When I started calling them and sending a message, they disappeared. So like now, I got this deal that supposedly people trying to sell 1.2 million of real estate. So I'm calling my backup people, and they're nowhere to be found. So it's not meant to be. And I said I'm about to take it on myself. So that's why I talked to you about this. Everything here. I'm about to make this 1.2 million possible call about a deal. So
yeah.
That's when you say I'm tough it up and hopefully offer service and see they need help. If not, it is what it is.
Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, I would start developing build your own network around you of people. Don't trust that you'll just plug into somebody else's.
Yes.
But you can meet them through another network and just start finding your own players.
Definitely.
Cool. All right. I'm going to let you guys go, and
Thanks, everybody.
Get ready for the afternoon one here in a little less than an hour. All right. Thanks, guys and gals.
All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh.